Yeah, man, we're back in the building. We're back in the building. Come on, man. Hope everybody is blessed, man. Listen, it's a big evening tonight, man. It's a big evening for Liverpool fans anyway, and
Yeah.
for Barcelona fans too. Just throwing it out there. So you got it's a big evening. It's a big evening. But you know, we're here to talk, obviously, about Liverpool. Everybody knows the vibes, the ties. Obviously, I'm here with the main guy himself, and before we get into everything, and you know, before we talk about what we're here to talk about, obviously, guys, pattern of play, and Endz has spoken about this. It's been on me. Let me know. It's nothing to do with Endz. It's actually been on me, and it's been my fault. But yeah, now we're trying to make a late comeback. We're trying to make a late comeback, man. So yeah, we'll see how the season goes. But before we get into any of that, Endz, chat to me, bro. Like, how are you, man? First and foremost.
Good, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Good, man. Did a little bit of fasting today, so feeling good still, man. Drinking my green juice and trying to be as healthy as I possibly can, bro. But you know, sometimes we do some crazy stuff. So yeah, man. Hey, just trying to enjoy as much as life as possible, bro. And because Liverpool ain't trying to give us that enjoyment, so we gotta enjoy stuff outside of the sport we actually adore, bro. So, but big up to you, man. I hope you're blessed as well.
Nah, come on, man. I'm all good, man. Big up to anyone watching this live, and of course, when you guys watch this on the replay, I know some people are, you know, just getting themselves ready for the evening, just finished work and etc. etc. So hopefully, me and Endz are gonna give you a real good football conversation. I think, especially from an analytical side, a tactical side. I think this should be a really, really good convo. Big up AR in the building. Big up to Neil Gunner in
Big
the
up.
building. So. Listen, one of the main reasons, before I even get into it, because I have to do a disclaimer, one of the main reasons why I didn't want to do pattern of play in general was because what Endz just said is, bro, you know, when you're tired, like I'm tired of talking about the same thing in terms of a tactical aspect over and over again. We've been talking about this. Me and Endz, if you go back and even probably one of my favorite videos, like, and I'm
Yeah.
talking just on the channel, was Manchester City versus Newcastle, and we did the pattern of play. That was like one of the first, if not the
Oh,
first episode. Till this day, it's still one of my favorite videos to do. You guys, if you've not watched it, the playlist is there. It's in the link. Enz's channel is there as well. Check it out. I promise you, you will enjoy that. But when we're talking about Liverpool, Enz, look. I heard you on Dean's channel yesterday.
yeah.
You said some blasphemous stuff, but you know, I'll leave it to that. That's up to you. Before we get into the tactics and all of that other kind of good stuff, everybody knows what it's about tonight. We understand the kind of job that Liverpool need to do in order to get, you know, the victory. Chat to me, man. First of all, is it doable? And secondly, how? Without getting too analytical about it.
Yeah, no, it is doable, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think the factors that people are gonna live on is how the season has gone. We don't have Jurgen Klopp there, and the fans ain't really been on it as much as they should, and the players as well, based on the players. So you look at those factors and you go, that's probably the reason why we can't. But then we are Liverpool. When it comes to things that the undoable, we are the team that seem to find a solution, a way to get things done. Listen, I've heard the players, the rally cries from some of the players. Tonight's the night, all of that good stuff. The promo that they've done for this game. You know, Soboslai saying he's ready to die on the pitch tonight. All of that beautiful stuff, bro. That's what I'm saying. All of that beautiful stuff, bro. For me, it is doable. Look, it's against one of the best teams out there in Europe right now, one of the best counter-attacking teams, one of the best footballing teams, one of the best managers in world football, with some dope players in the team. But Liverpool can do it, bro. Like when we need to do certain things, they turn up. When we need to get the points, they do it. When we need to get the big win, they find a way. Is it going to be too much on the night where maybe the 2 goals is a lot to kind of catch? Maybe. But I think we're going to win tonight, bro. Like I do really believe we win, whether or not we go through. That's another side of the story, innit? But there's things that we're going to discuss that we have to do if we're going to go and win this game and actually go through. If we get these things that we're going to speak about wrong, it could be a long night. That's what I'm going to say.
The thing is, yeah, you know, like when I was thinking about this, I was like, it's actually mad when you actually deep it, because the reality is 2-0 is not a mad scoreline. And I think that's what saved Liverpool in this tie so far. As they say in football, the old adage is 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline, right? You get 1 goal, all of a sudden it's only one more goal, right? And Liverpool are going to be at home. And as the title says, can Anfield do it again? They will genuinely be a 12th man on the pitch today for Liverpool. That much I can probably guarantee. As long as Liverpool don't obviously like concede 2 goals in the first like 5 minutes, then yeah, I feel like Anfield should be rocking enough in order to allow them to at least do the best that they possibly can. Obviously, it's down to the players on the pitch. It's down to the manager in terms of how does he set them up, who's he going to play, who's he going to start. There's a few things I think that's going to need to be obviously put in place. But Endz is right, man. It's one of them. I think I'd be lying if I said I didn't think Liverpool could do it. I didn't think Liverpool would beat Barcelona 4-0. like, let me tell you that. Yeah, I mean, I thought that game was dead and buried. I thought you win on the night, make it look close, but yeah, you're not beating them 4-0. And they ended up doing. Now I know it's not the same team. I understand same players, and as Endz said, people are going to be talking about the season and etc. etc. But Liverpool are weird though. Liverpool are very, very. They're a weird club, bro. Like we finished 5th. How many years ago? And we won the Champions League against arguably one of the greatest teams we've ever seen in the history of football. Like we're weird. We're very, very weird. So yeah, for me, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, man. We'll wait and see. How should I put this? There's a question I'm going to ask you, but I'm going to ask you towards the back end of the stream. You got nothing to do with the actual show itself, but it's a question that's just popped into my head. Big up to everybody, as I said before. Endz, man. We're gonna talk tactics, and this is where, guys, I said this to Endz already, so I'm gonna tell you guys here because I don't like to lie. I told Endz already. We need to hear from Endz a lot more in terms of the tactical side, like as in. I don't want to hear your agendas against Mo Salah. I don't want to hear any of that. I want to see what Endz has to say in regards to tactics and in regards to football. Big up Scraps, big up Liz, big up everybody in the building. So today, this is all I'm here for. I'm just here to facilitate that, for Endz. So let's get into the building, man. Let's start off. All right. So obviously, first and foremost, you start off with the defense. Now, yeah, just so that everybody else knows, obviously Endz already knows, but just so that everybody else understands, this right now, until the lineup is obviously broken out. If the lineup does come out, by the way, people, please do let me know, and obviously I'll put it up on the screen so that we can talk about it. But I want this from an Endz opinion. I don't want this from what he thinks the manager is going to do. This is more from what he would look to do. Because for me, that's more important than what the manager's doing, because we don't even trust what the manager is actually doing at the moment. So when we're looking at it from a defensive point of view, right? So we're going to go in sections, people. From a defensive point of view, Alisson, obviously he's out. Man, but that's really, obviously he's going to be, in goal. Liverpool obviously only had, they had 0 shots on target, obviously in the first game. PSG had 74% of possession. From a defensive standpoint, who are you putting in?
It's a difficult one, bro, because I was mulling over, because I had a team in mind yesterday or the day before, whenever I did the team, and I was like, yeah, this is the team I would start. But then thinking about it, looking at the weapons that they're going to have and how they're planning to play this game, listening to Enrique as well, saying this could be one of those games. It's one of those games where we could slip up and make massive mistakes in. So that means I know he's switched on in terms of, right, we can't go gung-ho. We're going to have to pick the right moments to attack Liverpool instead of playing the way that we played at home, because we know they're going to have the fans. They're going to probably have a little bit more injection in terms of the pressing, the movement. There's certain things they might do in the first 10, 15 minutes. If they can get something there, cool. So we need to set up in a way that we're going to nullify every counter-attack they're going to potentially try and do, but also try and keep their wing-backs, full-backs / strikers that the full-backs seem to end up in the box. We need to keep them quiet to stop the supply and the movement from their front line. Because what I noticed in the last game, even though the front line, they moved around and Bele did what he needed to do, the defense caused a lot of issues. And because of their movement, they kept dragging our players all over the pitch. So when you're talking about the defense, what I would play, obviously,
even just before you even put that up, in there, I wanted to ask a question in regards to last week. And obviously we played with the, what I say, 5 at the back, right? Obviously, I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on that in terms of, obviously, Liverpool playing with 5 at the back. It's not a formation, obviously, that they normally use. And I can't remember how many times we've done that, really and truly. Did you think that, because I think we spoke about it, and I don't think you had a problem necessarily with the team or anything that we put out, was more, I guess, the way that we played.
Yeah.
If we were to go with a 5 at the back, just as an example for today, would that be much of an issue with you? Or is it more about you should only play with really 4, and then, or is it the emphasis behind it and etc.?
If you're going to do it, we need to do it properly, because what we did, you know, when someone says 5 at the back, it only becomes a 5 at the back when you're defending. It shouldn't be a 5 at the back when you're attacking. And our problem was it was a 5 at the back the whole game. It didn't look like it ended up in a 3. It didn't end up in it. It just looked like we just went, you 5 just stand here in a row and do whatever. And then the defenders kept shooting out to do some random jobs, which I'd never understood. So I didn't mind playing it. It's just we never executed it how it should have been executed. And that didn't make sense to me. I didn't truly understand it. Virgil spoke about, we had to track players. But I'm like, bro, you're tracking players into midfield. That's the midfielder's job.
Yeah.
Don't open up spaces for these guys, because that's what they're doing. That's which we'll talk about in a second. But that's what they kept doing in the game. But
go on. Go on.
In terms of the defense, bro, Kirkes has to come back in. I think, look, he didn't start the season off well, but you can see that this brother's growing in confidence. I think his energy, his determination when it comes to the 1v1. And to be fair to him, he didn't have much to do, because I think Gomez did a lot of the work in the previous game. So I don't want to knock him and say he had a bad game. And then every time I saw him like 1v1, he did his job. I just think I think just Gomez did so much work on that side. Not because Kirkes decided he didn't want to try and help and do his job. It's just Gomez was like, yo, I'm going to take responsibility and do this, this, and this. And Kirkes didn't really get shown. But I think for me personally, he comes back in. I would actually go, and I was thinking about this, even though I put Frimpong in the last team I did, I'm going to actually go Gomez. I think you're going to need someone like Gomez in this game. And
why though? Why someone like Gomez instead of a Frimpong? Considering Liverpool need to win 2-0.
I think his speed, his energy, the determination in terms of he'll win that initial tackle, which will help us get on the front foot a lot more quicker than I think Frimpong can. I think Frimpong has done really well when he's played at right back. But you know, when you're talking about certain duels, and the team's probably just dropped now, when you're talking about certain duels in the game, Frimpong wins the second one. He don't win the first one sometimes. And you need to win the first one to get Liverpool on the front foot, especially for tonight. But yeah, the team is definitely landed. Let me see if they've picked the 2. But while you're doing it, and then obviously we're gonna play Virgil and Konate in there as well. So them 2 is gonna be obviously the centre backs.
A quick one on Virgil. I just see it like he's if he gets a yellow, he's suspended.
I think it was for the last game, but I don't know if it's transferred over to this one as well.
Okay. Oh no, I just see it pop up, but maybe I have no idea whether it's for both still. Let's see. Let's get this.
Yeah, get the lineup up and we'll talk about it.
Big up to everybody. Where did you see it? Is it on? You know what's a bit mad? I'll be so real, just so that you understand and know. I've muted Liverpool at like the word, so I don't ever see these things come up.
Oh no, I can tell you if you want me to. I can. So he's gone with obviously Mamardashvili in goal. Kirk has gone left back, which we know, Virgil and Konate, but he's actually gone with Frimpong. So what I'll do then, I was going to show the reason why I'd rather have started him, but I can understand why he's gone with Frimpong. Because if we need a defensive change, Gomez is the only fit senior centre-back that we have. So if someone gets injured at Virgil or Konate, you're going to need a Gomez that can come in left back, right back, and centre back. He's also gone with, and which I wouldn't have gone with, but this is what he's gone with today. And obviously, I saw the news earlier that Salah was going to be benched, and he has been benched. So he's gone with Gravenberch, and he's gone with McAllister. Where is McAllister? And he's gone with McAllister. For me, last season that midfield partnership worked, but this season it doesn't. And the reason why it doesn't, and I love the video you did on Gravenberch was really good, by the way.
Love.
The problem we now have is we've got one player that's overcompensated for the other one, and they both don't actually know what their role is within the midfield. So last season, you understood, Gravenberch, you are the defensive midfielder. So you, every time we go on a break, every time, you know, we're playing, you come and sit into this pocket here and clean up. And then McAllister, you could go and venture into different pockets of space. But this season, you got them both doing it. Gravenberch can end up here, McAllister could end up here, and it leaves that massive gap in the midfield where everyone's got the issue with this season. So I don't think this partnership works, and I think against Vitinha, if it's going to be Zaire Emery tonight as well and João Neves, because of their movement, you're going to see a lot of work from Gravenberch tonight. I promise you're going to see him have to do a lot of covering in wide areas or coming across to help out McAllister tonight, based on the way I think the game's going to go once it settles down. He's then gone with Szoboszlai as the right winger tonight, which is, I don't know. Listen, the gaffer he's got something in mind tonight. I don't know why he's done this. Obviously, Szoboszlai, I would rather, on a real bro, I need Szoboszlai in the midfield. I need him in the midfield because what happens is, and the reason why I want him there, when they're doing their 1-2s and movement, Szoboszlai can do his job. He doesn't need Gravenberch to come across and help him. He doesn't need Gravenberch to come and cover spaces. So Gravenberch can focus on, I've got this quadrant to work in, you've got your quadrant to work in. But with McAllister in there, you're going to find McAllister like end up in positions like here and then players making running behind him. Now Gravenberch has to come across and now it's just opening up space for players like Vitinha to come and pick up little pockets of space, get the 1-2s, send it out to the wide men. And that's what's, bro, watch what happens tonight when this happens. So I would rather Szoboszlai in here, bro. But look, he's out here tonight, so it is what it is, isn't it? And then, interesting one, bro. The fan base has been calling for this year. Eki out on the left wing. Eki baller, he's going to cause problems tonight. He's definitely going to cause problems tonight. He has something to prove. He needs to prove it. And then one of the shouts I called for, and the gaffer has gone with it. And the reason why I think he's definitely gone with it, you need someone to stay between the posts, bro. Stay in between the posts. Because in the game, when came on in the game, there was one moment where he dropped deep and he set it. Nothing fancy, nothing cute. Little set, spanning behind. And I was like, yo, that's what you need. Keep Pacho and Marquinhos occupied. Then there was another one where it's like he made a run here and then he dropped off into here and Gakpo didn't want to pass him the ball. Then he made another run where he darted near post, darted back post, Robbo crossed it, but someone cleared it. He tried to do a diving header. And I was like, yo, that's what. But the whole game I'm watching Eki and I'm like, you're not doing those things, bro. You're trying to get involved in the play. So I guess that's why the manager has gone with, yo, I'm gonna play him tonight. And then Florian Wirtz, man, in the 10, the position that. Listen, I know, G, you share a difference in opinion with him in terms of like the price tag, the video you done on him, in terms of the expectations. He should be coming and hit the ground running. I know you rate him as a player. He just hasn't done what we expected him to do at Liverpool. Yeah. But then again, G, and look, this is where stats comes in very important. Obviously, the eye test is he hasn't hit the ground running, but there's some performance in there where you go, yo, if the guys only did this, they would have done better. Their stats now showing behind Bruno, he's created the most chances in the Premier League. In the Champions League, he's created the most chances in the Champions League. So you look at his numbers and you're going, but his numbers ain't where it needs to be. Or his numbers ain't hitting like a Ryan Shirky's number. You're like, oh, is Shirky the better bargain if we would have got him? It's the fact that his teammates are not doing what they should do, which is put the ball in the back of the net. You can't be the most creative player in the, second most creative player in the Prem behind Bruno, but in the Champions League, you're number one. But your stats ain't matching or marrying up to the certain things. But I get it. There's certain moments where you say put your foot through it, not doing it. Certain times where he's not turned up in the games, you're thinking, yo, turn up. But the numbers are backing what he's actually doing. But the execution from his teammates at times and from himself at times ain't doing it. So tonight is a big night for him, bro. But that's the Liverpool lineup.
Yeah,
tonight.
I just kind of see. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I mean, I think the PSG is the same. Yeah, it's the same one as last week. There's no changes in their team. So Vitinha, João Neves, Zaire Emery, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and Doué, and then obviously the defense speaks for itself. So yeah, their lineup is what I expected. I didn't think anybody else was going to come in, but I'm just looking at the Liverpool lineup, right? Because obviously you've got Eki out on the left on this graphic, and you got it out on the left as well, right? And then he's got Dominic on the right. I'm with Endz in regards to obviously Dominic more being in the middle. I think that would be better served for him, but obviously he's gone back to the 4 at the back. Cool. When we're looking at this 4 at the back, what do you think they need to be almost wary of in a game like this?
If I go back to here, bro, let's say just bring in the front 3, right? So let me just bring 3 players in. So they're gonna have obviously Doué, Kvaratskhelia, and obviously Dembele in the middle.
Yeah.
The problem they have is these guys are going to keep moving. They're going to keep shifting positions all through the game. And you're going to find yourself like chasing shadows. The problem we need to do tonight is make sure the communication's on point. So that's Virgil, Konate. What I don't want them to do and what I noticed Dembele does, and I noticed from the first game when we played them last year, what kept happening was, and that's how they kept catching us out. Every single time he drops into here, one of these guys go. And I don't know why they do it, because look, all you can see here is just a massive space in behind.
Yeah.
That massive pocket of space that you can see now, that's been left. Someone's going to go into it, and that's where you got Kraver. He'll start making runs in there, or Duo will start making runs in there. Or when he drops in there, you're going to have like Vitinha or a Neves making a run, or Zaire Emery. They're going to make runs into that pocket of space. And you're like, why do we keep doing the same nonsense? Why do we keep going? No, if he goes in here, pass him on. Yo, Grabs, that's your man now. So I need to make sure this space, we've got that space. So if he's making that run, or one of the midfielders, let's put one more guy. If someone else is coming, we're not disjointed as a team. We're not all over the place, and we're not chasing shadows. But the moment, I'll show you exactly what happens. The moment he drops into here and these guys switch off, either Virgil's going to go, which creates space for Doué to start making runs in here, or whoever, if it's João Neves or Zaire Emery on this side, they're going to start making runs in there. Then you're going to see Virgil start turning and chasing back, or you're going to have Konate, he's going to have to come across the cover. Then you start having these runs. Then you're going to end up, now we're all over the place and disjointed. What we can't do is allow that to happen. And all that stems from is him dropping deep and one of the centre-backs going with him. Because when he drops deep... Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, go. Sorry, continue, sorry.
No, I was going to say, when he drops deep, all they have to do is just pass him on. And that's where the communication tonight needs to be on point. You can't go with him. If we're going to go with him, you have to win it. Because if you don't win it, and what I noticed in the game last year and in this game, we don't win it. So if you're going to go with him and he controls it, and he drops into this pocket here, right? He then sets it off to, let's say it's Vitinha now. He sets it off to Vitinha. Kraver is going to be out wide. So one of these guys is going to go. He sets it to him. He's going to hit Kraver. Kraver's now got 1v1. And Dembele, all he's going to do here is start sprinting. Then you're going to see Konate start running back, or Virgil's going to start jockeying back. But then you're going to have runners here. You might have another runner from Zaire Emery off the back of like McAllister chasing shadows tonight. Promise you this is what's going to happen. You're going to make runs up. Now you're like, yo, wait. From one little dropping in set, now there's 4v3. That don't make sense, because all they're going to do, as soon as Dembele drops in, they know that's the trigger to go. Now we're going to go, because they trust Vitinha on the ball. He'll find the pass. If Konate stays and he goes and sets it, these guys might not go. They'll stick their second. They might second thing. They might still try and go, but then it's easier now. Virgil is in a good position, so the most he can then go is, I'm going to go and stop in this position instead of going and making an actual run in behind. I'm going to have to stop because Virgil's there. Then McAllister has time to reset himself. We got a chance to reset ourselves and get back into a proper shape. But the moment he drops in there, and you notice it, bro. And if one of them goes, that's where the space is, and that's like, they'll just get a random chance out of nothing because of that.
I can't lie. The when you just said, when you said, I promise you that's going to happen, I swear I started visioning like that same move that you just put there on the screen. I can see that kind of move if Liverpool do exactly what they shouldn't do, which is what Endz is saying about, them dropping in. And I think it's always tricky. I feel like Endz explained it, by the way, perfectly there. And I think it's always tricky when you come up against a team like PSG, is that we saw Chelsea try to do it as well, which they did, by and large, they did all right, up until obviously they conceded a goal. When you go man for man against teams like this, you got to understand you're coming up against teams who are technically proficient. Like, they are so ultra comfortable on the ball that, as Endz said, you have to win the ball. Like, you can't even miss it, because once you miss one, that's it. You've been killed. Now you're praying that they just miss at this point, because they're that type of team, right? So Endz is, well, for me anyway, Endz is right in terms of the team and the way that they might press and pressing in certain moments and things like that. Let's move on to the midfield. Man, because I think where you spoke there about how, if Dembele drops in and stuff like that, the control and the stability, obviously we know, we don't need to talk about him, but we know what Vitinha is about. We know what João Neves is about. We know what Zaire Emery, what the type of players that, again, comfortable in possession. How do you think that's going to kind of affect Liverpool? Obviously, we've got the two in the middle there, which I've always said I find it difficult when you come up against teams who are comfortable on the ball and you only have two and they've got three. If they got three guys who can take the ball calm, those other two are going to need to be whatever, right? When we're talking about trying to stop the control in that middle of the park, how do you think there's McAllister and Gravenberch? How do you think that's going to work? And are they going to need help from a Szoboszlai?
That's the good question, bro. And the problem we're going to have, if they say number 6 is going to be Vitinha tonight, when the ball's in play, he's going to be moving around the pitch, going double up triangles over here. He's going to come over here, create triangles here. Obviously, triangles in the midfield. You might see him here creating triangles. You might see him over here creating triangles. He's going to be very hard to pick up unless someone's going to actually man mark him. The problem you have is none of our players are going to do that. And if you send McAllister to go, I'm going to go out here and close him, Zaire Emery speed, like I knew the brother was good, but he's definitely improved.
No,
he's
good.
He's good. Like, we knew he was good, but I was like, no. So they didn't even miss Fabian in that game. They didn't even miss him. I said, no, okay, cool. The problem you're gonna have when he starts doing these movements into here, McAllister is gonna have to come across, which then frees up space for like Zaire Emery to get the ball on the turn. And this is where, as I said, why I wanted another legs in it, because Gravenberch is gonna have to come across and do this, right? Soon as he comes across and do this, look at this space now. Now Szoboszlai has to probably make sure he's coming back to do his defensive job, but then you're gonna see what happens is Kravar will drop into this space, and then it opens up the space for Mendes to go. So now they still create a triangle no matter where it is, just because of João Neves' movement. Then he comes in, he's dragging one midfielder, and then we're all lopsided and disjointed. So now when it comes to if we win it, we don't have outlets. We're not going to have the outlet that we need. And that's where they're going to kill us all the time, because that's what they do with just his movement, Vitinha's movement. It makes us disjointed because someone has to go. Or else we can't just stand there and let him just keep moving around the pitch, keep creating triangles, because eventually it's going to open up space. Eventually we're going to get outnumbered 3 or 2v1 or something like that in some sort of space. And because of their wingers, Kerkez is quick, Frimpong is quick, but so is Kravar and so is Doué. So you're going to have to respect them and double up. You're going to have to respect them and do it. So I don't know if there's a way to kind of stop them, bro. I think it's going to be more from our pressing triggers, man. I think the pressing triggers have to be right. So what I mean by the pressing triggers, let me put these guys back. And I'll leave him there. Sorry. Go here. What I mean by the pressing triggers, say they have the ball, I don't know. Say Marquinhos has the ball. What we can't do is Florian Wirtz, he's going to go and press it. Opens up space for Vitinha to come and pick it up into little pockets. So it has to be, and what Liverpool did really well against Fulham was the pressing trigger. Gakpo, like him or not, he was making sure he kept pressing the goalkeeper, the centre-backs when they had the ball, which then forced them to go long, and they didn't get them to play into midfield. Obviously, there's going to be moments when they get an opportunity to do it, because obviously your fitness levels ain't going to be through the route where you can just sprint the whole game and close down. So there's going to be moments. So Isak tonight, even though he's not fit, he's going to have to make sure he's the first line of that trigger. So as soon as the goalkeeper goes, I'm going to set it to Pacho or Marquinhos, he has to make sure he does. And Florian Wirtz can't go, because the moment Florian Wirtz goes, oh yeah, I'm going to go, I promise you tonight, this brother, Vitinha, is just going to keep picking up little mad pockets of space and then turn. And if he turns in here, bro, he's got midfielders and players to play now.
Mm-hmm.
And all you're going to see is Sobo trying to do the long busting thing, trying to drop back in, and it has to be done correctly. So he has to make sure he does the press. Once he closes down, I got rid of him. Once he closes down the passing lanes, then we're going to have to get, where's Manma Issa go? Let me get him. Yeah, once he closed down the passing lanes here, then if Vitinha goes, that's when you can then go, close off that. Force him to go and play to the other centre-back. We're in a good position. If he goes to the centre-back and it's Pacho gets it, we're good. Sobo is in this good position here, so he can mark there. Gravers can get tight there, and Frimpong can get tight. So at least then we're in a position where they're going to have to force it somewhere. They're going to have to force it long, down the channel, and then hopefully maybe, Cravo wins the 1v1 draw down there, or he's going to have to try and find João Neves, and that's when Gravenberch has to be aggressive in that first press. So if he goes right, go centre back, goes left back, Sobo is pressing him, and he's find that space here. If he goes tight and Gravers go and win it, now we got the transition of getting him behind and making different runs. But that's what we're going to have to do. We can't jump too early. It has to be striker, winger, midfielder, striker, winger. We have to do it that way, and then the midfielders can go. But the moment you start seeing this man start going here, it might work for like a couple of minutes where it might be frantic, the noise and the stadium is whatever. But the moment the game settles down and allow this brother to start picking the ball up, because you're pressing. Sorry, go on, bro.
No, I was like, bro, you can't let one of the best midfielders in world football get on the ball and just turn and only just have space in front of him. And that is my worry. And obviously Endz is explaining it there, and I'm just like, at first I was thinking, bro, having the two in the middle, something's telling me that he's gonna need to concede in one area. So either concede in the middle of the park, which would be silly in my personal opinion, or concede out wide in terms of them having the numbers over that side, because he just can't allow Vitinha to play. And I think the pressing thing, Endz is right. It will, the first 5-10 minutes, the noise and everything like that, I think it will work. I think, it will probably just be that. But you see, after PSG quieting everyone down after 15 minutes and it's still 0-0, that's when I worry. Because then that's when I look at it and think, if they can quieten the crowd, then they can just play football. Remember, guys, just let everyone know, PSG don't need to score at all. They can just 0-0 and bounce. So I don't even know what their game plan is for today. Like, do we go and try? Are we going to... Remember, last time they came to Liverpool, they were only 1-0. No, they were 1-0 down. So they had to score in the game like ASAP, which they did through Dembele. This time, though, they're 2-0 up. For all I know, they might just put on a clinic of just keeping the ball for 90 minutes. I don't even know. So your Endz is right. Like, it is that midfield, for me, it's the weakest area when I'm looking at how PSG can hurt Liverpool. That's when I'm thinking those three in the middle, they're some of the best players in world football. Now, McAllister and Gravenberch, on their day, they can obviously do something. I'm just worried about if they're not switched on, now you're lost. Because then it just becomes silly after that point, because these lot will just pop it. Do you know what I mean? Pop it around you. So let's wait and see, man. But I think when you're looking at the two players before we move on to the attack, if you're looking at Gravenberch and McAllister, who do you think is going to be the key out of the two, or do you think it's together they're going to need to be?
Out of the two, bro, I think together, man. Together, these two needs to be on their job, man. Look, they're gonna come up against 2 or 3, depending on where Vitinha ends up tonight. He just wanders the pitch. 2 or 3 of the best midfielders around at the moment. And in terms of, they might not have the names in the headlights out there where people are ranting and raving about them and saying, yo, so obviously the system works well, but you've got players that's not standing still.
Yeah.
You're going to need you two communication tonight. The comms between you two tonight needs to be on site, bro. Because the moment I promise you, the moment one of them is overcompensating for the other, that's a recipe for disaster. The moment you start seeing, I used to get told, you never, like, when you're centre back and you're defending, you'd go, one will go, the other one stays, then one will go. We just keep moving in tandem. The moment we start doing this and I have to come across, it's a long day. And that's why I said earlier, dude, when Dembele goes high to receive it, allow him. Let him have the free touch, whatever. Just make it difficult. So when he turns, he has to come back to the same spot facing the same man. Yeah. So all he's gone and got is a nice little touch. Oh, I'll get a touch on board. Touch, set it back. Cool, that's fine. Set it back. That's like any of the midfielders playing a quick little 1-2. But if you go with him and he gets it and sets it and starts turning and running, you start crossing over. That's the problem. So with the two midfielders, the moment they start crossing over each other, you know it's a long day. Because there's going to be space for them to keep recycling and rotating the ball across the pitch. The moment you see like McAllister goes high and then Gravenberch has to come across to cover the space, or Kirkhead might have to step into that space, or Virgil has to step into that space. The moment one goes and then you have to step in that space and we don't win it, yeah, those 1-2s, then all of a sudden you got, because remember, they're right back, the right winger, the left back, and the left winger, they're all rapid as well. So all it takes is one pass and then they're in. So yeah, they have to work in tandem tonight, bro. And that's why I wanted Sobo in there, because I think Sobo doesn't need you to do your job, and then it makes Gravenberch then don't have to need Sobo. He can then focus solely on his job. Where I think tonight they're both, Gravenberch and McAllister, they're both going to need each other, because one side is going to be lopsided at some point in the game where we're chasing, And as I said, if you're going to step in, if the press is triggered correctly, and when they press, we have to make sure we're aggressive. Either you get the foul or you win the ball. Get the foul, win the ball, because if he turns, there's mad space in behind.
Nah, it's true, man. Like, I know Scraps just said that, but I'm actually laughing more because I'm listening to Endz and I'm just like, everything you're saying are things that we've actually seen. And I'm not even talking about Liverpool versus PSG. I'm talking Liverpool versus Leeds, Liverpool versus Fulham earlier on in the season. Obviously not recently. I've seen that in just games against teams who don't have the level of player that PSG have. So Lord knows, kind of what that might look like, when we're talking about it from this kind of perspective. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky one, man. But there is one player I wanted to quickly talk about before we move on, obviously, to the attack. Florian Wirtz, man. Florian Wirtz. I think obviously he's like a mix, obviously, because of the position. It's like midfield / attack. So I just kind of wanted to focus on him. I guess you can look at it from both angles if you want. When we're talking about Florian Wirtz, and forget even what I said about him, people, don't even worry about that. I'm more just specifically thinking about him for this game. Endz said at the beginning of this stream, he's created the most chances in the Champions League. He's created the second most chances in the Premier League. So chance creation clearly is not a problem for Florian Wirtz. I think that is very, very obvious. You've seen the way he plays, etc., right? Now, without getting into him as a player, so to speak, in a game like this, what do you think, or what do you think? But also, what would you like his role to actually be in tonight's kind of game?
I need you to free him up, bro. I need you to free him up where I'm not saying he doesn't have to come and do defending. I don't need you here, bro. I don't need you here trying to win the ball. I need you, if Liverpool have to drop in as a team, because it could well be this, and it could well be the 4-4-2 diamond. It could be that tonight. It could be that. It could be the diamond. It could be that tonight, right? I don't want to see him start to come back and trying to win the ball, and I just want him to be the guy on the turnover. When we win it, can we find him to let him go and create to the strikers? Obviously, if you got to drop back and they're in possession, we're going to get into shape. Cool, do what you need to do. But I just need him to be the guy on the end of the pass, man. Be the one that's everyone. We've been a Salah team for a while. Last season was predominantly Salah. Down the right, no matter, even if the left was free, down the right. I need the same thing, but when it comes to this guy in the middle of the park today. Because I don't know how much of the Fulham game you watched, but we utilized him so well in that first half. He was able to turn, create, link up play, little 1-2s. He put Frimpong in twice in those. He put him down the right twice. Frimpong pulled it back once for Robbo to have a shot. Pulled it back again in the box. I can't remember who missed. Then there was one when he won it and nicked it, and he made a nice little pass to Salah. He took it on the back foot, but he hit the defender in the box. He gave Rio his goal from the assist on the counter attack turn and was trying to find the right passes. The problem he has though with Eki's the type of striker that likes to get involved and link up in it. I think that's why Isak tonight is going to be important, especially for Flo, because Isak is going to do this. He's going to start making runs in behind, which you're going to get through balls in behind. Either it's going to be he makes the runs inside the right and the left back and the left centre back, so he can find those passes, or he's going to make these runs into here, and then it's going to be good passes. But normally, what happens is Eki will drop in and try and play 1-2, and then Flo ends up being here. I'm like, no, you're not the striker, bro. We've already seen the little feather shots that he has. You need to get these man making runs, and he be the pass before the pass, or the pass for the assist. That's the way we need to use him tonight. But if I see him like over here doing mad dog work and over here doing like lock it off, get him off the pitch, there's no point. No, for real. If he's over there starting to sprint around trying to close down, what's the point? On the real view, what's the point? Because I promise you, what you won't see is Dembele do no dog work over in the centre back role and trying to win. No, he's waiting to kill you guys up the other end. That's what he's waiting to do.
Do you think then, you see, like with that, right? I think I can't remember if I'm sure I was talking to you about this, and I can't remember which player we were talking about. Do you think it's almost a case of, when you don't feel like you don't trust your other teammates, so you almost have that? Remember, I'm sure we was talking about it, where you think, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself. Like, I'm gonna go back in defense. Like, like when you was on a team, for example, and you was just better than everybody else. So even when they're defending, brother, I'm coming back. Like let me just come back and just help out, and then we'll keep it moving forward. Like that's almost the energy sometimes I get with Florian Wirtz, is that you're so like you're so eager to be so like to help out in all positions, whether it's to show that you're doing something, to show that you're a part of the game, or whatever it might be. Maybe he's one of them players that just need to like do things to almost get themselves into a game. Like, fair enough. I think Wayne Rooney was almost like that type of player as well. But you're almost becoming ineffective by doing that. By trying to be effective, you're becoming ineffective within the game. Because as Endz said, you're coming back, you're dropping deep, trying to pick up the ball. All right, if you pick up the ball, by the way, there's no one else there. That's my issue, is that usually there's no one else in front of you in terms of getting into the box and etc. Maybe this is why he's gone with Isak, Eki, potentially to go, because now, as you said, you've got someone to obviously play between the sticks now, who can then kind of do that role. I don't know, but I just feel like with Wirtz, it's always like you just look like you're doing a whole lot of nothing half the time, and I'm just no,
you're right. Because normally, bro, look, if you're being honest, right, this season you're seeing Sobo in the 10. So you've spent 100 and something. I'm just gonna put these guys there for a second. You spent 115 million on an actual 10, but he's on the left wing. There's two ways tonight they can go. They can either go this, they can go 4-4-2, and then we go two strikers, So explain to me 100 and creative 115 million. What is he gonna? What's the expectation from this position for everyone? Because what will happen if they go 4-4-2 in the game? Look, I'm not going to say it might hinder his game, but it's going to be most likely it's going to hinder his game, right? Because all he's going to do is come into here, which is going to leave a massive gap here for Vitinha to go and get Zaire, Hakimi to go and attack. All it's going to do, because he's going to drift into these pockets. But you've got 110 million of creation just doing box to box, doing bleak tests. Just doing bleak tests down this flank. That don't make sense to me. So that's why when you go into this game, if that's his position, are we expecting a goal from him, or are we expecting an assist from him? If we're playing the diamond, 100% I'm looking for a goal or an assist, because you've got two players in front of you that can go and cause problems. And that means you're going to have loads of passing options there, if that's the formation. If it's the If it's this one of 4-2-3-1 and he's in the 10, I'm expecting a goal or an assist tonight because I know you're going to be able to get into those areas. But if the formation is and he's over here, what's the expectation then?
I think maybe. Do you think maybe then, I don't know, like in possession, when we're defending, maybe do you think we just drop into like a 4-4-2 and then from there maybe then he drifts back? I don't know. I'm just.
But then you're right because obviously you're gonna have to have a defensive shape and an attacking shape, right? But then you remember what I go back to when I said when we do win it, where are we gonna go? Because now you're gonna try and find him. So now we're back here trying to defend against Hakimi and Desiree Doué, yeah? Now we're in down these sides. Say we win it, right? Say we win it. But he's over here now. He's back here trying to cover and double up. So is McAllister gonna be the guy that gets that? Because we know McAllister in the quickest. If he turns, he's gonna get caught. Gravenberch, yep, on the turn, yep. But then we know when Gravenberch is great from here to about here. You see the moment he starts getting into these zones.
Nosebleed.
Bro, he goes, no, there's options. You don't know what to do, what to pick. So wouldn't you rather this guy making that run and getting into here and then he's the one on that final? That's what I'd rather see.
Yeah.
That's why it's going to be very interesting, bro, to see what happens. Whether it's this shape we go into from a defensive standpoint, which will make sense, and it might be less. So that means tonight we can't just go, if he doesn't score an assist, you can't then crash it out on him. Because his job role tonight, but that's what will happen, bro. That's what will happen. That's what will happen. He didn't score, or he might get one of those half chances after he's been running down this fast shoot called Hakimi. And there's if he's out there, if he's playing on that side, right? If it is a 4-4-2, maybe Eki can go out there, but then the Wirtz go as the striker, second shot.
I feel like in that kind of situation, maybe you just take turns at doing it. Like if whoever's the closest. I don't know, because those two got a good relationship anyway in terms of their kind of synergy on the pitch. So I'm maybe those two can figure it out. It is actually more just Isak, and obviously that moves us on to the last bit, and obviously that just being the attack. Like obviously with Isak coming back in, I mean, I don't know if he played at the weekend. I don't know
he did.
So and I don't know if by your own standard, no, let me not say standards. Did he look like someone who has just come back, i.e., leggy, tired, or whatever, or did he look like, you know what, I could play him in this game against PSG, as in I can start him in this game, and I think he'll be all right. Or like, I don't know what that looked like to you.
Obviously, he didn't play for that long. I can't remember exactly how long he actually got, but you remember when he first came back from when he came back from trying to get himself up to match speed for Liverpool when we initially bought him, but because he was not training no preseason. You remember, like after 2 sprints, you can see man holding his knees. He was a long day for him. He didn't look like that to me in that game. He just looked like he could go. How long can he go for? I don't know. That's going to be can he go for 50, 60, 70? I don't know the honest answer. He's definitely got half an hour, 45 in him, at least. At least.
Well, I hope he lasts past the half an hour. You know what I mean? Because you started. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. He at least has that, because or else he wouldn't have started. I'm sure that in the fitness test before, because obviously you got to do the fitness test for the game. I'm sure he probably passed fit that he can manage it. Whether or not what time they take him off, and then Salah is going to be the guy that goes in. Maybe that's going to be the substitution, and that's the thinking. But I think he's fit enough to play.
No, okay, no, and that was more my thinking anyway with someone like Isak, because again I didn't see it, and so I don't know if he look calm, like it was whatever. But if you're saying that, then fair enough. Before we obviously move on to Salah, we'll say the best till last, as they say. There was a player that when I was doing my own lineup in my head, there was a player that I thought I would start him in this game, but ultimately I wouldn't have started Isak either. Rio, would you have started him in this game?
100%, bro.
Okay, so we're on the same wavelength.
I do not understand the thinking, but I do understand the thinking at the same time, which is probably an oxymoron. It don't make sense, really.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get you.
He's good enough to play. He's good enough to start. He's fit enough to play enough games in a row, and the manager has opted not to play him. Whether or not, and as I said to, I think it was Dean and Roms, I was having a conversation with. I said the problem you have is, and what I've noticed with this manager, the moment you make a big fuss about a player that should start, he's not starting that player. He'll wait for the conversation to die down, then he'll play them. And it's a thing where, and I wholeheartedly believe this. I could have the conversation with him, and he probably lied to my face. I wholeheartedly believe he doesn't want to make it seem like you come up with the idea for him to use. He wants to be the one that comes up. I wholeheartedly believe that, bro, because we were calling for Rio for time, not because the fact that we just wanted him to play. It was just we're watching certain things from Gakpo and Salah this season. We're like, just he can't do any worse. It's not about whether or not he comes on and we're expecting a goal or an assist. All we're saying is he can't do any worse from what we're seeing from those two, because there was a period where they couldn't even run past their fullbacks. Yeah. At least Rio could have done that. We've seen the games he played. He can definitely do that. So when we was calling for Rio and calling for Chiesa, the manager was like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, he's playing them, man. The moment that it died down, Rio started getting more minutes. Chiesa then automatically started getting subbed on in a few games. You're like, what? Rio's now gone and had a beautiful game against Fulham. Everyone's clamoring like he has to play. I knew. If no one said nothing and everyone was just like, he had a good game and left it there, he would have probably started him today, because then it would have been his thought process. Because everyone's calling for it, he ain't started him. And same with Salah as well, bro. He just dropped Salah out again, second game in a row in the Champions League.
So we'll move on to Salah, because obviously, I've just been noticing, not from you, but from like other people, in terms of the kind of conversation in and around Mo Salah. And I think for a game like this, I actually wouldn't have started him anyway. Like, he wasn't in my lineup to actually start this game. I had a different kind of thought process. Like, I did actually have Zobo out there, but it wouldn't have been in a 4-2-3-1. It would have been more like a 4-2-2, 4-2-2-2. And then just kind of work it from there, kind of thing. But I just think in games like this, yes, Liverpool need to score. So I get what in the thinking. Yeah, of course, Salah, obviously goal scorer, blah, blah, blah. But I also think you need to be disciplined in a game like this, because as much as you need to score, you need to understand that you're not coming up against, this ain't a League Cup game semi-final against Southampton where you're 2-0 down and you're thinking, oh, bro, come on now, man. You know what I mean? I can play Salah. Yeah, well, I'm not bothered too tough about what they're going to pose to us, so to speak. We're talking about, as Endz said at the beginning of the stream, we're talking about one of the best teams in Europe, with some of the best players in Europe in more or less every single position. Did you get bar goalkeeper? They probably, like, everyone else is probably one of the best in their position. If we're looking at all top three in their position at least, kind of thing. So I feel like he's probably just looked at someone like Salah and said, for a game like this, you're probably best served if you actually come on. So you might be right with the whole Isak thing. Maybe Isak comes off half-time. Let's say he's tired, he's leggy, whatever. Now Salah comes on. How you shift it, I don't know. I would be playing Salah more central, though. He wouldn't be out wide. Because if he goes out wide, I just think you're just asking for problems. Against Mendes, bruv, he'll eat him for easily, just easily. So I feel like with the Salah thing, I wouldn't be looking at that as a Liverpool fan and thinking, oh yeah, you know what, like it's a bit annoying not seeing Salah and he deserves this and deserves that. I'm like, nah, man. Like, I feel like with Salah, like, I don't feel like you've deserved to start a high-profile game just like this. You haven't been in that kind of level of form. Other players do deserve to obviously play, but I do think Rio, for me, deserved to actually start, this kind of game. But listen, man, chat to me about the attack anyway. Just in terms of the Isak, Heki, how you see it, combinations, and then
in terms of the front line, bro, it's going to be weird, isn't it? Because you expect Isak to be the guy that's going to be the vocal point at most of the game. He's going to be the guy you expect to kind of stay a lot more central. And then Eki's going to be the one that has the free spirit, the floating one that's going to maybe drift over to the left. Maybe you might see him over the left side. You might see him maybe in the middle, you might see him over the right hand side, just having a bit of freedom to play. But someone has to stay here. I didn't like the fact that when we was watching the last game, I didn't like the fact that I saw this from the attackers, right? So I'll put the two centre backs back, just so you guys for visuals, right? I didn't like the fact in the last game, we had the 5 in it. I didn't like the fact that I just saw Eki out here, and the two centre backs had nothing to do the whole game. They literally, no one was standing there, and the only time you might have seen someone, maybe Wirtz popped up in a little area like this. It made no sense to me because I'm like, Marquinhos can see the game, Pacho can see the game. There's no one running it in behind them, to keep them turning, to keep them guessing, to keep them disorganized. So if you make a run, he's gonna have to travel you, which opens up space for someone else that could be going. It was literally watching us, and he was out here, then he was out here, and then he dropped into here, and I'm like, but I need you here, my guy. I need you on someone's toes, hit like just standing in here somewhere or moving, keep shifting the cross, trying to get involved, touches of the ball from different sides and making runs to keep them turning and keep them guessing. And likewise, it was an easy. Pacho had an easy game. Marquinhos, the brother's nearly like 40. I'm sure he's mad old now. Top defender though, but he had an easy, bro. Actually, at one point, it wasn't a corner, it wasn't a set piece. I saw a man in here.
Bro, I've been telling people Marquinhos has been told to go up front sometimes. Like you've got the freedom to just go, and we can just cover you. That's crazy.
What happens is he goes. I'll show you what happens in the game. So Hakimi goes, Mendes goes, and I'll drop in. Where's my midfielders? Let me drop my midfielders in. So what happens is Pacho comes central. Jean Neves drops the left back. Sorry, Vitinha drops the left back, and Jean Neves picks up the right back. And then they drop into this shape. And then Jai Emery will drop into like pockets like this. And then they'll still have their free. They'll still have their free. They'll still have their free. So, and then all you're doing now, you're going, shit, they've got players there, you got to drop. And then they've just got them like making runs here, they tuck inside, and then these guys then go. As soon as they do, now the fullback's going, do I go? Virgil's thinking, I got to cut out the lane for the pass. Now you got this brother scrambling, looking for like, who do I pick up? Because there's an extra man now in there. You're going to see them do this. You're going to see Pacho drop in there. Vitinha is going to pick up this spot. And either Zay Emre or João Neves is going to pick up this spot. And they go into a back three. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see us have to drop back into these mad positions.
Just he honestly say, I'm assuming honestly he just said that now. So yeah, what you said, like 45 minutes, and then
he'll come out and probably play 10-15 in the next half, then Salah, or 10 minutes, and then Salah, depending on how fit he is. But
that's a bit weird. That is a bit weird.
No, but G, the reason why I said to start him, as I said, you can't have Eki trying to get involved. You're going to need someone to like now with this year. Isak ain't gonna try and come and do. He might do, but he'll keep it simple. Set, and then he's running in behind. Running behind. Eki's trying to do the cute link up, flick it round the corner. He might drift again, and then someone else picks up that central role, and then he's out wide trying to go 1v1. Because he's an out and out footballer, innit? He wants to get involved in the game. Isak is like me on pro clubs. I just care about scoring goals, bro. If I'm up top, I don't care about all the other stuff. Just give me the tap-ins. Cross the ball into the box. I'm setting, I'm spinning, give me the ball in behind. I'm not trying to dribble, man. I'm not just set. I'm gone. Through ball, over the top. Yeah. I'm in the box, square it to me for a tap in. That's what Isak is on. And that's why I think he's gone with him today as well, instead of gone with Salah. But what would have happened if it's Salah and thing, you're gonna find these men out here. Even if they're the two up top. You're going to find Eki out here and then all you're going to have is Pacho can walk into these areas easily, on challenge. And then Vitinha can pop it, pick it up here, drop into here. Now he's got a triangle to play. And that's what we can't allow Pacho to be calm in the game today. We have to make him frantic. The players that you have to make frantic today is Pacho and Vitinha, bro. Though if you can unsettle them two tonight, we have a chance at doing something.
Well, that was actually going to lead to kind of like my last point, which was to ask you about is if you had to pick 3 players from a PSG perspective, who you think, as you said, keep them quiet, and then you feel like maybe Liverpool have a chance. Like, who would they be? Obviously saying, Vitinha, Pacho. But yeah, go on. Yeah, speak with him, man.
Yeah, no. So the 3 I'd pick is Dembele for 1, Pacho, and Vitinha. I think Dembele because, as I said to you, about that movement where he drops into these little pockets and Konate or Virgil's going to try and find him, which leaves massive space in behind. That's where the problem's going to lie for us tonight. The moment he does that, but then he can pop up over on the left-hand side, pop up over the right-hand side. And in the last game, if his finishing was on point, he would have killed us, bro. Like,
yeah, he would have.
Because of it, just solely because of his movement. There was one when they played and he ended up at the edge of the box and he just kicked it to the goalkeeper. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. The other one over here, no, he kicked it over the bar, sorry, from centrally. Then the other one out here, he kicked it to Mamadashvili. But him only drops in. And then Vitinha. If Vitinha is settled in the game and he's able to just find space, bro, there was one moment in the last game, yeah, he picked it up from right back, he popped it into Hakimi, popped it into someone, and it ended up to Pacho, and Pacho switched it out to, it might be Mendes, then Kvaratskhelia, and then he was here. I was like, but I just saw you play like with the 1-2 over this side, and he was back here waiting for recycle. If you can't go 1v1, Kvaratskhelia, yeah, set me and we'll play again. So that's what. And then Pacho, you need to, like, he blocked 2 crosses from Florian Wirtz in the last game, but there was that little tackle. He was just in the way a lot of the times. And I felt like he was just too settled. The waste man with the chewing gum as well. I was like, nah, so he's got the third chewing gum in and he just chilled. Like, yeah, these men ain't going nowhere. We need to make sure this brother is sliding, trying to grab shirts. And that's why I think where Isak is going to be important, because he'll make those runs where he's going to have to either foul him, win it, but he's going to make him have to do more work than he did in the Parc de France, bro. So, and then, yeah, Vitinha, just stop him from getting around the pitch and playing, bro. Every time he gets the ball, someone needs to just rattle him, bro. Maybe a tackle, something where he like, I can't just receive the ball and turn and try and source. I need to set it. As soon as I get it, set it and move, because they're going to try and kill me if not. And then just keep, because to be fair, like a lot of people, they're gonna literally suck off what fucking Kvaratskhelia did in the game. I didn't think he had a great game. I think his goal was really good, but I didn't think he was in the game where I was like, oh, he's over on the right and left hand side causing havoc. I didn't feel that in the game. I didn't feel that at all in the game. But he just kept popping it around, and he made a good run. He got a good pass. He scored a really good goal.
I agree with you. Like in what you said there about Kvaratskhelia, by the way. Like, I think, yeah, he didn't really do much, but what he had to do, he just kind of did it. But it wasn't like amazing or like worldly. Obviously, he's a worldly player, I think, anyway. But yeah, he didn't do that much. And I agree with what you said earlier on, actually, about Kirkes. I never felt at any point that he, I don't know, I didn't feel like, oh my God, Kirkes is getting cooked down this. I didn't really feel like it was type of thing. Even with Frimpongers, it wasn't really that. In fact, I actually think the 2 centre backs were worse off than the 2 fullbacks.
Because they kept going, bro. Because they kept dropping, they kept following this guy, bro, into these weird spaces. And I was like, where are you, man, going? Why?
No, it's true. And that was my energy towards it, because I saw people obviously talking about this, that, and the third. But when I watched it, I was like, nah, I don't feel like Kirkes or Frimpong could have done anything differently, and it would have helped. Let's put you that way. Like, they played the way that they played, and I felt like, no, that was fine. It was the centre backs who were far arsing around, and they actually caused more problems for the team, because, as Endz said, following players into the, silly areas, and then you're just leaving gaps. Like, and Frimpong and Kirkes, they're quick, but you know when someone's got a run on you and it's constantly happening, bro, you're not always going to win that battle, bro. So
now look at the chance. Yeah, Doué's 2 chances he had was essentially he got. And exactly what I said happened. Drops in, then the space opens up. He made the run, and then he got in. The Kvaratskhelia one was more he made a run from the inside of the right back and the centre back into that area. So he didn't come from here, him cooking no one and then getting into the box. It was literally a 1-2, and he made a good run into here. Drops the shoulder. Gravenberch.
He went through someone's legs though. Like I can't remember who it was, but it actually went through their leg. Like the
Pass
pass
was mad,
went
didn't
through
it?
their,
Yeah, the pass
yeah.
was crazy.
When you said it on the street, that's it. 'Cause I was watching it. Yeah, when you said it on the, because no one else said it, and I was like, brother, did you man not see the pass though? Like the pass
Nah,
was
the
crazy.
pass was outrageous, bro. Like that part, that's where you gotta admire it, innit? The run was
Yeah,
really good, but the pass
yeah,
was the pass made everything. And then Kvaratskhelia just
yeah,
he didn't have much to do, just two feints, bro. Goalkeeper
yeah.
Gravenberch was gone. Joe Gomez tried to throw himself on the line, then you got Doué jumping over like it was a madness, bro. Where was like Kanate and Virgil in that mode?
Oh, bro.
Gomez was back.
Honestly,
That's why I say Gomez was doing loads of work in that game. But
that's
yeah,
what I
the
think.
chances come more centrally than they did from the wide men. It weren't like that. And then the only time the wide areas got where there was something happened there, it was normally from Hakimi or Mendes, where the overload, and then with an overload, you're always going to get in at some point, and there's always going to be a ball that
Yeah,
gets in. But it weren't
no,
because of Doué or Kvaratskhelia. It was more from Hakimi and Mendes, the overloads. That was where where the pullbacks. I think the pullback came from might have been Mendes with a pullback. And then that's when Dembele skied it, kicked it over the bar.
no, it's true. All right, from a Liverpool perspective, man, who are the 3 players? And then I'll get your predictions, and then obviously we've got the watch along. 3 players for Liverpool, man, that you're looking at and you're thinking, yep, they need to have a really good game in order for Liverpool to win.
I think I highlighted it earlier. Let me go and double check. I highlighted it earlier. I might have to change it. So yeah, I had Rio because I expected him to start, but he's not going to be the one to start.
And
So
End's already premeditated, but
yeah, I had an idea of who the 3. So my 3 that I'm going with is these 3. So I'm going to go with Konate, Florian Wirtz, and Isak are the 3 that needs to have a good game, in my opinion, for Liverpool to stand a chance. I think Virgil's going to do Virgil, but I think a lot of the heavy lifting is going to come down to Konate tonight. A lot of the heavy lifting where he's going to be aggressive. If they try and knock it long, he's going to be the first one to try and win the header normally. If they try and go into Dembele, he's going to be normally the first one to press in there as well. And then when it comes to the overload and the wide areas, you're going to see him a lot of times because Frimpong's going to go high, isn't he, at some point when we have the ball. So he's going to come across and do a lot of the defending on that side. So I think a lot of the heavy lifting is going to be down to him tonight. And if he has one of those immense games where it's flawless, bodes well for Liverpool. The other guy that I've picked is Florian Wirtz, and its sole reason is, but it depends though. So I have to caveat that with it depends on where we're putting him. If the formation is 4-4-2 and he's playing left, I'll change the expectation of what I think he needs to deliver in the game, because am I expecting my left winger to come up with the goals and the assists in the system that you're trying to do? I would expect my strikers to kind of do that, or the guys that centrally, like a McAllister, Gravenberch, to be the guys that's going to do that. That's sort of heavy lifting in that area, maybe a through ball or maybe making a run into the box, whatever. But if he's going to play in the 4-2-3-1 and he's the 10, I'm expecting a goal tonight or an assist, or I'm expecting a 10 out of 10 game from him tonight. It's the world stage, bro. You have to deliver. It's a Champions League quarterfinals against one of the best. You're going to have the fans. The team said they're ready. You need to be ready and show why they've paid the money for you. Look, if he doesn't, it doesn't mean I'm going to change my opinion on him as a player, because as I said earlier, there's a reason why he's created how many chances he has in the league and in the Champions League. I have to look at his teammates in and around him, because am I expecting him to score all the chances? Can I recall all of them? But I do recall there was a lot of games, Man United, Chelsea, when there was moments when he gave Cody, when he gave Eki, he gave Salah, he was just giving chance, he was dishing out opportunities to the man them and they weren't scoring. Would the outlook on the season would be different if you saw 10 goals, 10 assists, 15 assists, 10 goals? I solely agree, because Shirky has done well this season, but it's compounded and compacted with the goals and the assists. So people can go, yo, yeah. But there's games where Shirky hasn't turned up or done well. He hasn't, but he'll end up maybe getting assist, something cheeky in the game, and then everyone goes, yo, yeah. And then when you look at the overall, you think he's doing a great job. And Isak, as I said earlier, bro, it's the runs in behind. I don't think Eki will make those runs, but I expect it from Isak tonight. And I think he'll get opportunities tonight. I need that celebration tonight, bro. I need them man. I need them man there, bro. I need the knee slide, them man there, and we're cooking 3-0 up. Well, maybe not 3-0 up, but we're cooking and he points over the shoulder. Whatever it is, I just need him to make those runs in behind, make sure he's not a pushover, windows, aerial drills, windows. When it goes into feet, it has to stick. There's none of this, oh yeah, Pacho's run round me, nick it off me, and run off. Nah, we don't need banana and rice Isak today. Yeah, we need heavyweight, 4 kg. Apparently, he's added on 4 kg as well of muscle. Whether or not he has or not, that's down to the fans.
Okay, 4 kg.
Added on. He's heard the man them diss him about banana rice, so he's locked in. He's locked in. He grew a beard now. He's starting in the Champions League.
Beard. Yo, I ain't seen this up a time. He got a beard. All right,
bro,
cool.
I don't know if he's got it tonight, but he came back with a bit. Hold on. I did see the training photos. Let me see if I've got it still. Yeah, he did have the training photos I was looking at, and he had a beard, bro. He had a beard, unless he's gone back with the little goatee thing that he does, but he had a beard. Let me see. Where's the training photos from yesterday?
That's a beard, you know. All right, cool. I see you.
Nah, he's trimmed it down. A little. You can't see. I'll WhatsApp it to you.
Yeah,
he come back with a footy, bro. He come back with sideburns and everything, bro.
Yo, man said, yeah, I've been in the jailhouse, man. Like, you know what I mean? Just doing press ups and that, and I'm good. You know what I mean? Now I'm here. You know what I mean? We can yeah. That's gonna be hilarious. I'd love to see that. And I think, listen, look, ultimately, I think for someone like Isak, but also just for the team, I think the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, I feel is so like vitally important, you know, for Liverpool in a general sense. I think that's where Liverpool, I feel the game can almost be won and lost in that kind of moment. Obviously, you're talking about a team like PSG. If you don't hit them first, hard pause. If you don't do it, I promise you, these lot will just move mad. They'll move mad, and once they start moving mad, I don't know anybody that can stop them. And I do mean anybody. Like when they're in free flow, bro, they're like a old school Man City, old school Barca, in terms of that kind of level. But in terms of, I am saying they are probably of that kind of level. Like they can easily reach that. So you got to be careful. You got to be really, really careful with PSG. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, in terms of what Liverpool do, how PSG approach tonight. They're in a different situation than last season. Like I said, last season, they were coming into the game needing to score. This time, they don't need to score. So the onus is on Liverpool to try and, you know, get that victory and get the goals early. Are Liverpool going to take time with it? Are they going to go, you've got 90 minutes to score at least 2? So we manage it like a normal game where we just need to score 2? Do we say we need to score quickly? Listen, I wouldn't want to be in Slot's position. I can't even lie, because right now it's all a bit mad, and your game plan is going to be so vital to what's actually going to happen. So let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see. But I'll ask you this prediction. And you know what? Because I heard you on Dean's show, and you were doing political Piers Morgan semantics. You Endz, just you as a normal civilian.
Yeah.
What is your prediction for the game? I don't want just your prediction for the game, bro. It's a safe space, man. You can be honest. If you
I'm fighting with what first came to my head, and what first come to my head, I think we win tonight. Whether or not we go through, that's the. I'm going to say we win 3-1 or 2-1. I'm going to lean into 3-1. That means that goes, and then we might go in extra time, or 2-1, but we lose out on aggregate, but we win tonight. But my heart is telling me 4-1. I don't know why. I've said it a few times. I don't know why. That is call me crazy. And I told you, G, when it comes to the lead up to a Liverpool game, I start saying random stuff.
Yeah.
5 minutes into the game, reality hits, and I go, yeah, these men ain't as good as I think they are this season, are they? That's what normally happens. But before it, I'm like, yeah, Sobo can hit a screamer. Yeah, Isak can score goals, and he's going to point over his shoulder. Eki's going to rainbow. Florian's going to dictate the game, and then we step into the game, and Vitinha is dropping left back, right back, centre back, picking up DM, left striker, left wing, right. And I'm like, yeah. It's levels, innit? There's levels still. We ain't at that level. So I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1, but we still go out.
3-1, but
my
we still
heart
got.
says
I feel
4-1.
like that's
We
respectable.
go through.
No, I feel like that's respectable though, even putting it, because to beat PSG 3-1 anyway would still be a good result. Obviously, it's just not enough because of the goals. But yeah, 3-1 is it's a good scoreline. It's a good scoreline. And to only lose narrowly, I guess you can then look at it in any which way that you kind of want to. Guys, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna wrap it up here. Big up to every single person who obviously locked in. I'm not even going to promise that I'm going to do another live anytime soon. I probably will, but I don't want to promise because I've not been keeping those promises so far. So let me just keep your notification bells on. Morris, I know you said you missed the notification. Just keep it on. I will definitely have another live between now and the end of this week. It might even be tomorrow, depending on how the game goes. We'll see. We might be back for another pattern of play in regards to the result of the game. Guys, Endz is doing big watch along, of course. Liverpool versus PSG. I'll be over there in a sec. So make sure after this video finishes anyway, it's going to redirect you over there. But if not, or whatever, for whatever reason, just click the link there. In fact, you guys, if you're on the laptop right now, all you need to do on your laptop is right click. You right click that link, open up into a new tab. Stay here, open up into a new tab, and then you're already waiting for Endz when he gets on over there. And before you go, and then before the I'll give you my prediction in a sec, guys. Don't worry. Before you go, there's a question I want to ask you, and it has nothing to do with the Liverpool game tonight, but I've been thinking about this. Who do you think was a better player? Whatever aspect you want to add whatever you need to add to get to your conclusion, you add it. But I want your honest answer, and the chat as well. Let me know your answer. Who was a better player, Falcao or Torres?
Falcao.
He said it so quick, and he didn't even
blink. No, Falcao was a deep. No, Torres was cold for us. Yeah, he was cold after that year as well. But Falcao was a deep. Bro, there was one season. Yeah, I swear he scored. No, he did. No, guys, you don't understand. Falcao was ridiculous. Like Torres had the young Torres, the 3 seasons, 4 seasons before the hamstring started doing a madness for Torres. Yeah, you couldn't get close to that, brother. But Falcao, yeah, I don't know, bro. He had screamers. He had different types of goals. He was quick. He was strong. He left foot, right. Like, he was just doing a madness. That doesn't mean that Torres weren't good. I just think Falcao was. Falcao was cold still. I can't lie.
I had to ask because I literally asked a big up T, because I asked him earlier on, and he, just like you, it was a very quick answer. He gave his reasons because he said he liked Torres more, obviously just as a player and stuff like that. But yeah, he was very quick with his answer as well, which was it had to be Falcao. And the only reason I asked is just because I've been seeing usually on the social media space, what happens is a lot of people end up showing a random player love just out of nowhere, and he happened to be the one getting love recently. Okay. So let me ask. I want to know what people think. Like, do they really have it in there? But yeah, like I said, guys, head on over to Endz's channel, please. Right now. He will be going live. But yeah, my prediction. I think Liverpool. I think it'll be a draw on the night. I think it will be 2-2. And I think actually PSG score first, Liverpool race into a 2-1 lead. Something happens, I don't know, penalty or the contentious decision. And then I just think PSG will score, and then that will just be the game done and dusted. But in the point that Liverpool go 2-1 up, I think there will be a moment that Liverpool fluff their lines in whatever capacity that is. So miss an open goal, or they'll have a 10-minute period where they're just on PSG's neck, and then I just think they'll just fluff their lines. That's just the way I feel it will go. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, man. We'll wait and see. Most of you have obviously gone Falcao as well. Guys, if you're watching this on the replay, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you enjoyed, of course, about the stream. Do you want to see more of Endz giving us a tactical masterclass? I know I do. So make sure you leave your thoughts in that comment section. Big up to everybody. Like I said, Endz will be live. Also, you got the call-in show. I want to.
Yeah. So
yeah.
calling
So
off
got the
the
call,
guy, you know.
mate. Listen, I've been listening to some of you lot's calling shows. Yeah, just either way, just tune in to the calling show. Make sure you have your say, because I think tonight will be an evening where there's going to either be a crash out or jubilation. I don't think there's going to be any middle ground at all.
Yeah, there's
In
none.
this. Yeah, so we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, man. But big up to everybody. Make sure you smash a like, share, subscribe. Endz's channel, of course, is in my description, but make sure you head on over there. Anyway, catch you guys soon, man. Peace.